Minecraft interior design is one of the many tools a Minecraft builder uses when bringing to life their creations. Interior design can also be critical in maximizing the available space utilized for the needs of the builder. Perhaps you want to make your house feel cozy, or your tower is meant to conceal a mob farm, or your build is simply a place to unload excess items into storage. Whatever your reasons, it's important as a builder to recognize the needs of your build before beginning the interior. It can be difficult to know where to start when it comes to creating a unique and cozy interior for a build, and today, I want to focus on 6 identical house shapes and how creating different floor plans can lead to wildly unique builds. My name is Wintertooth100, and I want to help you get started with your interiors. But before we get started, be sure to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And if you don't, then everyone will know that you hate puppies. And I think you in fact love puppies, so be sure to prove it to everyone. Today I want to specifically address the question of how do I begin to design the interior of my build? First, let's list off the things we are not doing in the beginning. We are not choosing which blocks to use for our interior, such as lanterns, which stairs will be the best couch, should my kitchen have 1 or 2 stoves, how do I create a toaster, none of that. What we are doing in the beginning is to simply identify what the purpose of our build is to serve, and then we can formulate a blueprint of how we want to dissect the interior. Here I have 6 copies of the same first floor of our house, 5 of which have already had a blueprint created for them, and the 6th was left empty for us to do together. I'm using the same floor shape to help demonstrate that the same house can have a huge number of potential interiors, and as we go through them, you will hopefully begin to recognize the value of dividing up your build before you even think about filling it with stuff. So remember, the first thing we're doing is laying out a blueprint. That is what we want to get accomplished before we even build up our walls or design what the walls are going to look like. We want to actually know where everything is going to go before we build it. To clarify, the exterior build should be complete. When I say before you build up the walls, I do mean the walls inside the house, not the ones on the outside. So looking down at my hotbar, we are using the warped planks to represent the outer walls of the build. We're using the stripped spruce log just to represent any kind of pillar or beam. Spruce plank is for any solid wall. Dark oak trapdoor is for decorative walls where we want to have extra little space potentially. Of course, the doors mark where all the doors are going to go. And the stairs and slabs work together to help represent where any potential staircases are going to go. Looking at our first blueprint, we go through the front door into a sort of mud room. On the right hand side, we can have a kitchen over here. We have a restroom. It's divided into the back. Of course, we can have a living room on the left hand side. And then we can use the tower shape to both be a staircase to the second floor, or it can wrap down and even go to a basement. But I've chosen here to include an extra closet, and depending on how much space the stairs take, you can extend this closet back into the entire recess of the tower. For the second blueprint, I have moved where the front door goes, and through the front door, you're in this small little hallway where you have a closet immediately under the staircase. You have another closet maybe to hang up your coats, your jackets, and put your boots in there. And of course, the staircase to go to the second story. Moving through here, we have a hallway which we can decorate with things like looms, maybe banners, and just make it more decorative. Maybe there's an armor stand at the far end. On the right-hand side, we have a kitchen with its own little closet. You could potentially even turn this into a very tiny restroom if you would like. And in the tower, we are utilizing the space for a living room. For the third blueprint, we are again moving where the front door is. You can tell that moving the front door by this point is a great way to affect how the layout is going to be. So that's something to keep in mind. You can always change where your front door goes. But through the front door, we're greeted by the mudroom and also a staircase down to the basement. Through the door, we enter the living room, which grants access to the stairs going up. And of course, the restroom. Here we can actually include things like a tub and a shower, a sink, the toilet itself. This is a large enough restroom to include all those things. and on the left hand side we have a kitchen, which is utilizing the tower space. For our fourth blueprint, I thought it would be fun for the front door to actually use the tower itself. So through the front door we are again greeted by a mudroom, something that's pretty traditional when you go through a front door is to be greeted by a mudroom. And through the mudroom, we enter this small hallway, which grants access to a bedroom. We can have a bedroom literally on the first floor if we want. And I've added a few extra blocks to this one to help emphasize how a living room might lay out. When I originally built this, it kind of felt like it might be a little small for a living room. But really, if you throw down a couch and a TV, you can really make a living room feel really cozy with a smaller space. Through this little hallway here, we enter the kitchen, and if we just use this beam, we could actually leave this open like as it is, and you could imagine, the cooks in here cook something at the oven, and they can immediately turn around and put the plate on this little landing, and people who are sitting on the couch, all they have to do is reach back, they can grab it, and then continue watching their show as they're eating in front of the TV. So I thought that would be a nice little addition for this style of house with a small living room. And of course, on the far side, grants access to the staircase going up. And again, the spiral staircase, you could even build this to wrap around and go down to a basement. For the fifth floor plan, I have once again changed where the door is located, and I've opted for the builders who want to have a little bit more space for their areas. So through the front door, we are immediately greeted by a nice large kitchen. We can easily fill this in, have awesome windows with the sinks and the counters. You can look out at, maybe you got this awesome view, but nice large kitchen to accommodate all of that. You can then proceed into the hallway, which again could be decorated with things like paintings, armor stands, that sort of thing. And we have a nice large dining room. And of course, it divides into a spiral staircase, which goes to a basement and to the second floor. And you'll notice that this one is kind of odd in that it only has the kitchen, the dining room, and the spiral staircase. That means for bedrooms, living rooms, all that sorts of stuff, you either have to fit them into a basement or into the second story. But by moving the locations of things like that, you can actually utilize the space and have larger versions of each of the things you would normally find within a house. With each of these house shapes being identical, I hope so far we've demonstrated the importance of figuring out how to divide the interior before you build anything, using the exact same shape, and just changing how we divide the inside into different rooms and sections. We have wildly changed how this house is going to feel based on which version you choose to use. And now here's where things are going to get a little bit more off the cuff. I have given myself a stack of each of the blocks we're using to represent the various things, and of course an axe to collect them all and break things up and change our mind. We're going to go through this in survival and just create a floor plan to demonstrate how easy or sometimes difficult it can be to choose the right floor plan. Like most of you who will be doing interiors, I genuinely do not know where to start with this. Let's see. First things first, we need a door. Let's put a door on this side. We haven't actually put a door on this side of the house before, so now this side is probably the side of the house that we're gonna have facing the street. So we got a door in place. So when we're going through the door, I'd like to think about what are the sorts of things I want to make my house feel cozy. I want a living room, so I'm usually thinking about a fireplace, so eventually a chimney's gonna get put in, possibly a kitchen, and I definitely want access to the second story, so we do want a staircase. Bathrooms are nice, but they're not necessary. They're not real things that get utilized within this game. So let's see. I want a living room. Let's put a living room right near the beginning, but let's divide up this beginning section here, and we'll put in a little mud room because I like my mud rooms. I like when you come home, you got an armor stand to put your jacket up or what have you. In fact, we can even divide this into a little closet right here and make it so when guests come in, they can't just see all of our stuff hanging up in there, and maybe later we'll add a little thing here for them to put their shoes on, so they take their shoes off before they come in and walk on our nice carpet. But right through here, I think it'd be nice to be greeted by a living room. So we're gonna move this block out of the way. We're gonna put in a beam and we'll do a solid block here because it's going into the tower and I don't want to conflict with that. But with our living room, let's have a kind of an open floor plan. Maybe we'll divide it right here, and we'll have this one end up like this, and we'll do a dining room in here, and then we'll use the tower to be our staircase, but also let's put a beam here. Give it just a tiny bit more division. I'm imagining, you know, sitting on the couch watching TV or whatever else. In fact, let's change our minds again. Let's put a little divider right here, and we'll do a couch perhaps right here. We'll watching the TV, or it can go the other way. It really doesn't matter which. But I'm thinking we'll utilize this little section as a small dining room. You know, just get a table on the far end. We'll use our imaginations for a moment. Imagine, you know, we got us you know, our table and our chairs. I ain't gonna keep these here. I'm gonna tear these out, but just so you guys can see a small little dining room. And we can actually turn this into the kitchen itself. I like the idea that we have a slightly larger kitchen. If we bring out this beam like this, we can have a door like that, and now all of a sudden we have a small closet space. I am genuinely making this up as we go along. And if there's anything you don't like, all you have to do is just pick up the blocks and lay them out all over again. But I still want access to the upstairs, and I'm thinking we'll do a spiral staircase. I don't want to completely consume this entire tower, for I'm not sure exactly what else we may want on this first floor, but we'll just do our beam here, and you know, we'll get our first stair in and start wrapping this around just for demonstration's sake. Of course, we got our staircase. I like to lay in this staircase as much as possible. That way I get a feeling for how much headspace we're gonna have when we are building down below. But now if we walk around this, you can see we can actually fit under this. So with that in place, we could include a small bathroom. We really could divide this up. Let's see, we'll put in a wall right here, just like that, and then we can have this wall, and we'll do the door right, I'm placing blocks in bad spots, break that out, and then we'll have our door right here, and now all of a sudden we have a small space for a bathroom. It's under the stairs. Of course, you can manipulate the roof so going upstairs you can't see into the bathroom, but just like that, we have the entire floor plan laid out for this house in survival mode, and it didn't take more than a couple of minutes. We have our front door, we have a mud room, we have a special closet where only us can hang up our things on the armor stands. There's a little space here where we can let our guests hang up things like their boots. They'll come through. We have our living room kind of sorted out. We have a small dining room, a kitchen in the back corner. There's a bathroom and a spiral staircase, which the way this is set up currently only goes upstairs. There's not really much space here for letting it go into a basement. But yeah, this was actually done really quickly in survival mode. Now, Winter, why not just build the walls in their entirety as you're going along, instead of doing a floor plan first? Well, imagine if you were to actually fully decorate the walls and get them exactly as you want. Maybe you're using some kind of stair combination to get a little texture in there, and maybe the direction that the stairs are turning is a little challenging and it takes some time. But then at the very end, you decide that dining room isn't big enough. Now all that hard work you just put in, you have to tear it out and redo it, versus creating a floor plan where you can actually look at it and understand how everything is going to fit together, and you can make those decisions of, do I want to adjust where that wall is while it's still just a couple of trap doors and not something fancy and complicated that you've constructed for the inside. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more about how to do the interior design. I have a few more ideas to build on top of this concept to further get into this. I guess you can consider this a beginner's introduction, and I think I have a intermediate and possibly even a expert level version of this tutorial. So let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you would be interested in seeing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you liked, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.